Thank you so much for staying with us. I know for sure you enjoyed that. See, I don't know what Toby puts in his mouth when he's thinking, because no, let's not lie. It's always interesting. And then, like I said, I feel like you're a bit dramatic, and I really love it. Your stage presence is 100. I feel like you have something to say, tell me.
Dramatic? Am I?
Okay, not dramatic. Okay,
I hear you.
For lack of better words, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's all I can say. What can I say?
No, but I like it. I think it's something that would, make people, want to, they'll be curious. And the fact that you're able to hold down the stage, I think it's something that a lot of persons are actually lacking. And, I just hope that artists over time, the uprising artists, I don't like to call them upcoming, I like to call them uprising. So for the uprising artists coming up, they learn from big people like you, Toby. Okay, let's not stress. I get you there. All right, let's go straight into the cultural angle, right? We've talked a bit about the psychological path. Let's talk about culture. What do you think about the way we actually see things culturally? So, you see, when it comes to culture, here's what I think. I think culture starts first from family. So we know family is the unit of culture. It's a basic unit, yeah. It sits at the very core. And so, you know how I said that people can do evil things from three ways, yeah. Right? I think that most of the shame that we reference, that we hear society throw at us, actually usually, and that it sits only because somebody in the tight unit, the close connection, the nuclear family, has either referenced that or has prepared us to, created an environment that already set us up for low self-esteem. So the first thing is, and I think most of it is done with good intention. Right. That's why I said sometimes it can be ignorance and foolishness. You know that, so someone will say, what's the advantage of shame? I think shame has no purpose. I think shame has no positive outcome. Yeah. I think because what we are trying to do is to get people to reflect. If it's intended in love, in other cases, it's just to embarrass people, and that's wickedness. But I'm talking about the ones that really want to do good and think that shame is the way to go about it. And the reason why shame doesn't do anything is because shame doesn't actually promote self-reflection. What it does is it creates an avenue for rumination, self-conscious rumination, not reflection. Right? Rumination is replaying that negative cycle in your head, triggering the same, because for you to actually reflect, you need a sense of, remember what I said about the frontal lobe? Yeah. Right? Prefrontal cortex particularly. You need a sense of strategy, of vision, of planning, of stepping back, right? Of some form of what I think in leadership they call it helicopter view, where you go up and you can see, but at the same time you can come down to execute. You need a bit of that, right? But people cannot reflect when they are stressed. Sadness is good. Shame is not. Sadness is useful. So shame is not even a basic emotion. So there are 6 basic emotions. It was I think it was Paul, is it Elcom or I can't remember his last name, but he's American. But the name is probably Scandinavian, or I'll argue Swedish. I don't know. But the point I'm trying to say is, so he did a work, and he initially said there were 6 basic emotions. Now he's added 7. He's added contempt, and it's arguable, but it's his work. You know what I mean? So there's happiness and joy. There's sadness. There's anger. There's fear. There's disgust. And there's surprise. Now, these are 6 basic emotions that actually play some form of protective role. It helps. So happiness would foster, and you see even in babies would have it. So these things are innate. Yeah. Right? They are innate. So you would have, say for instance, happiness and joy would foster bonding, which is necessary because we're social animals. Yeah. Sadness will slow you down for reflection, because you will see babies sometimes when they burn themselves, what happens? Yeah. They will just go to one corner and sit down. Yeah. Even as babies, they know, they are wondering what just happened. That's what happens, right? You will see disgust. You squeeze lemon into the mouth of a little baby, and you see that face is the face of disgust. That plays a role, to protect us from toxins. Fear will protect us from dangerous situations. That's why we are born with certain fears. Fear of loud noise, right? That happens because clearly a certain decibel of noise can actually puncture your eardrum. So there's that, right? And all of these 6 things, or 7, right? Contempt is the last one, and he says that plays a role in social dominance and moral superiority. Now, all of these things are 7 basic emotions. Shame is not part of them. Shame is a more complex emotion because it involves social learning.
Right.
You cannot be... So, shame needs context to exist. There's this movie called Happy Feet. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
So, it's a film about penguins, right? And there was I said gentleman again. I was going to say gentleman. There's a penguin there, right? Who was born in a clan of penguins.
Yeah.
And what was a core part of their tradition was that every penguin had to know how to sing. That's how they would draw mates. That's how they would get the ladies to like them and, procreate and all of that. But he was born being able to tap his feet as a dancer. So they thought something was wrong with him. So they took him to a trainer who tried to teach him to sing. My gentleman was releasing horrible notes, right? Then something happened. He wandered off. I can't remember the details very well. Wandered off into another clan of penguins and found out that there, tapping feet was the deal.
Right.
And he was so good at it. So the other guys were saying, here, you're going to be the man, man. The ladies are going to like you. And that's how shame works. Shame needs cultural context. So it's not basic. So, and this is where I think people miss it, particularly family. So how do we correct people? I understand that particularly whether it's even kids, as a leader, even sometimes you need to give feedback, you need to criticize. And sometimes you need to do it with passion, because passion communicates urgency, right? So I want you to know that this needs to be fixed, and I want you to know that it needs to be fixed as soon as possible, because it's not only important, it's urgent. And sometimes you need passion to demonstrate that. I understand that. And that's why, so sometimes people confuse that with shame. And this seeps into every aspect of our culture, even church. You listen to some sermon in religion, and it's shame dumping. It's with good intention, but it's all about shaming. Like, you shame people for everything. You shame them for the amount of hours they pray. You shame them for the amount of you shame them for everything, for how they dress. And when it's not actually, people don't actually change because of shame.
Right.
See, I told you faith is a huge part of my brand, right? So, I'm a Christian. I'm a lover of God, and I believe in Christ, right? I believe Christianity is still a religion, no matter how much we package it.
Yeah.
Because it has dogma. It has organized religious systems.
Yeah.
But we're not ready for that conversation now. Now, but the point I'm trying to say is, so to repent actually means, it comes from metanoia, which means to change your mind.
Yeah, mindset.
To reflect. Yes, there's the purpose of godly sorrow. You would never find anywhere in the scripture where shame was prescribed as a tool to inspire change. But you see, no matter how spiritual we become, our revelations still pass through the channel of our soulish evolution. So you can have a spiritual leader who is deep in terms of his metaphysical and spiritual experience, but very shallow in his emotional growth. And he would distill all of that light through the darkness of his soul. And even though his intention is good, he's breaking people.
So how do you think they should go about it? So that's why we are here.
So here's what I think.
Okay.
I think that first, this is what I do.
Okay.
I think we must first kill that part of us that cannot live until we tell other people our opinion. Nobody needs to know your opinion. Like, if you feel that you have that impulse to always give opinion, you are not correcting anything. You are coping with yourself. It's not about them, it's about you. Because if they did nothing, you will still find something to say, because you have to correct. So once that is taken out of the picture, it's not a survival mechanism for you. It's not a way to boost your ego. It's not a way to make yourself feel more important. It's not a way to channel classism. I'm up here, you're down there. If that's out of the picture, if it's coming from a genuine place of love, the next thing is, every good leader has to be hands-on.
Right.
You have to be in the mix.
Yeah.
You can't be distant. You need to know. You can't. I'm not talking about micromanaging. I'm talking about being present.
Present, yeah.
Present, but knowing how to insulate yourself enough to allow people get their job done. But you still have to be there because you have to see what's happening.
Yes.
Right? Now, there does not mean physically. I'm not, because then you can do
No, I get what you're
but
saying.
Yeah, you have to be in the business because then you're not leading anything, because you can't lead us if you're not in a vehicle, right? But one question you need to ask yourself is, and I find myself doing that, sometimes I find certain feedbacks necessary, right? But I don't know if the timing is right, because I ask myself, have I invested enough love in this person for them to not misunderstand my feedback as a demeaning of their person and their essence? And if I have not invested that, even if I am so uncomfortable with it, I would not say a word. I won't allow them. I would love them.
Okay.
If I know that that is so strong, that is impacting me, I will give them distance. While still loving them, find a replacement for them, because it's love. If it's love that drives it,
Right.
it's not I hate you.
Yeah.
There's something I want to tell you. It's important to get this thing done, right? That's my first case. Now, there are cases where that's not possible, but that's my first approach.
Okay.
This is my approach, right? I will put them to a side, still love them. I'm not going to cut contact with them. Everybody wants love. Whether you're working with me or not, you still need to be loved. So don't worry. You will get the love.
The love plenty.
The love will be there. Now, but if that thing is something I don't feel we are ready, our relationship is not ready enough to give you feedback about, I won't talk about it. Because you need it. There's so much negative feedback in the world already. How do they distinguish the one that's coming from you from the ones that came before that broke them?
Right.
You need a track record.
So you see this place you took us to, Toby, it's quite dicey because, you see this normal, do I call it logo or something that I'll call it mantra, right? That everybody has been going with, which is change begins with you. So there's that mindset that if you see something wrong, talk about it. What do you think about that? Because that's something that we are actually in movement with. If you see something wrong, it's probably, for example, you see someone probably take a sachet of water and probably finish drinking it and, drop it on the floor. And then, they will tell you now that it's important that you tell them, Auntie, don't you think there's a waste bin somewhere? Pick this up.
Okay.
What do you think about all that?
That's a very, very, very good question you asked me. Now, the first thing is we need to make a distinction between private situations and things that people owe the public. When it comes to public, when it comes to society, there are certain things that are standards. Right? It's not personal. It's what's necessary, what's required of you as a functioning member of society to make society work.
I love that.
In that case, we can hold ourselves accountable. That's fine. But that's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because people really don't feel shame for that. Because in that case, you're not talking about them. You're talking about what they are not doing right.
Right.
If you're driving drunk and the police sees you, it's not about you. It's about the fact that, uncle, you want to kill people.
Right.
You could run into someone, and that is absolutely acceptable. Now, the other part is, when you say you see something, you say something. So we've removed the public, bit now.
Yes.
So I'm talking private.
Yeah.
The question is, do you even see correctly? 2 plus 2.
4.
10 minus 6.
4.
100 minus 96.
4.
All of that, those outcomes are 4. But what got us there is not the same.
I agree.
Sometimes you think you have seen something. You have judged, you've seen an outcome, and you are convinced that what gave you that outcome is 2 plus 2. So you just move and you start giving your opinion, but you don't have context. And that's why, fundamentally, I'm an introvert, right? Forget the state presence, that's on the side.
Yeah.
Right? And one of the things that I really, really love, even though I have other things I'm not so proud of as an introvert, but I really, really love is the ability to wait and observe. Most of us don't. Which brings me, maybe the next session, I will talk about this. So most of us don't even see correctly, but we don't know we don't see correctly because we're not patient enough because of what I said, the impulse to control. So you see somebody's shortcoming as an opportunity to establish your own moral superiority. So the impulse kicks in before you even ask yourself, am I seeing correctly?
These are some big words. I really love it, honestly. It's really, really, impactful, right? All of these things you've said. To be honest, I don't think that's something that a lot of us know. We are not able to differentiate these things, right? Which will bring me to the next question. Now, the
Do
way
I have
culture...
enough time for that?
I think so. I mean, very, very little. Do you think cultural shame has evolved over time? Or do you think it's the same issue that our parents had that we are still having?
It definitely has evolved because culture has evolved, right? It definitely has. If you're a young person right now, you cannot use social media. You'll be shamed for it. Our parents didn't have that. You know, like you can't use AI, like. So that in simple terms, definitely it has to evolve with culture, and that's what makes it very, very fallible, because like it's not consistent. Like I said in Gogwala Fine, don't let these things determine, because it shifts. What we are shamed for today is not what we'll be shamed for tomorrow. Okay, now let's say, for instance, men are shamed for being broke. In the future, we get universal basic income for everybody, because I think that's where the world might be going to. When AI takes over like 60% of the job, we have to deposit UBI into everybody's account. So you won't really be broke. Or maybe we'll find another way to, I don't know.
We